we are going to tackle or provide you with 5 tips in order for you to have a better growing season, techniques on better growing, that you're going to have a better season after you're done listening to this segment. And we offer this advice to you because we have not had great successes in our garden because of some of these. Now, we're not going to tell you to, make sure you water this and weed that type of thing. These are more out of the box thinking tips, I guess, right, Holly?
Yeah, just like maybe more unique or whatever.
So the first one is don't narrow your mind to this is the only way I can grow. Look at all different growing methods in which you can choose to grow, and there's a lot of them.
There is a lot. So for one, and maybe you are growing in one of these methods exclusively and haven't considered, popping in one of a few other ones, and here's some inspiration for you. Or maybe you are like, I grow in all of these and maybe I'll try more of one or the other. So one is ground, obviously, and ground growing has been done for a long time, and it's a traditional way to grow.
It's most cost effective.
Right, it's the most cost effective.
But also, if you have bad soil, toxic soil, a lot of weeds, this may not be the way to go. Now, we started with ground gardening, and we have continued to ground garden in addition to adapting to raised bed gardening.
Right. So that's the ground gardening. We did change to raised bed ground gardening. Whenever that was, 2 years ago in 2020.
Yeah.
And
the year that we all remember for specific reasons. And that's just the way it is. Our parents had World War II and Vietnam, and we have these other things in our lives. But anyway.
Right. So anyway, that's, we'll go on to raised bed gardening. And raised bed gardening can be a myriad of things. It can be anything from you buying the wood to building the raised beds. It can be you finding somebody who builds raised beds, or pop-up raised beds like from Root Maker.
Or you can just get a couple, if you have the capabilities of getting some 6 or 8 or 10-inch diameter trees, throw them down, make a square or rectangle, and fill it with soil, and you got a raised bed there.
Right. Or maybe you have some pallets and you want to do a pallet raised bed. Now, will it last as long as other wood? Maybe not.
No,
probably not, but it's an option.
But you want to be sure you do not get a pallet that there's certain markings on a pallet in which is safer to use than others, the way they're treated and what the pallet was carrying. So right. You got ground garden, raised bed, container, elevated raised bed. You can do indoor gardening, huliculture gardening, straw bale gardening. There's a lot of different. That's just some of them. There's many, many more. But that gives you can do a lot. You can do a lot.
Right. So then we also have know the weather and do not be eager. So this happens especially to newer gardeners or gardeners who maybe have a neighbor who is taking these weather risks, and they're like, well, Jim Bob over there plants his tomatoes 3 weeks early because he just feels good about it, and then they do it, or they just think that it's time because the ground can be worked. And then you have...
There's been times in late February, early March, at least in our zone, where it's been 80 degrees.
Right.
The ground is 32, but it's 80 degrees ambient temperature, and it just doesn't work that well. There's that old saying, I'd much rather plant my tomatoes 2 weeks too late than the second time when my neighbor plants the first.
Exactly. So
that's a long saying. It doesn't go on a bumper sticker very well, but you get the point.
Right. So you want to be aware of the timing, and if you're not sure, you can go to any search engine and type in USDA growing zone, put your zip code, and it's going to give you information like frost dates and there's all sorts of charts as to when to put things into the ground and how.
Now, those are guidelines. Those aren't hard numbers. The 22nd of this month is the last this, and that doesn't mean the 23rd you can go ahead and do it. You've got to be aware of the conditions, but it is a very good guidance in which will help make things be better to grow and more successful.
Yes, correct. So that's the second tip. Now the third one is you want to keep the staple crops, but also maybe explore some new crops.
What would you consider to be the top 3 staple crops in a garden?
Tomatoes.
Okay, 1.
Some sort of squash.
2.
And some sort of root crop.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
What would you consider?
Tomatoes, green beans, cucumbers.
Okay.
All
I
right.
see that.
We got two out of three there. But what we're talking about is the things that you know will grow well, and produce a lot in your garden. That is what we are, continue to do that. If it works, keep doing it. But you can also don't narrow it down to being, I can only grow these 7 things every year. Explore. There's, Junk Seeds has great selection of unique seeds. And there's other companies that have phenomenal seeds that they have basically brought back from the extinction, and or that are not grown in your region as predominantly as other places.
Right. So, and the reason why I suggested this tip is because you may grow your 5 crops phenomenally, but if you try something new, you're going to learn. You're also going to possibly fail, but then you'll have a growing experience for yourself, and that keeps things exciting and fun and interesting.
Well, it's just some of the unique things in which we grow. Yacons, root crop from South America. We've grown Occas, OCA, root crop from South America. We grow Jerusalem artichokes, getting more popular. Those are kind of the more unique ones that we put in the ground each year. And we don't do the Occas anymore. The Jerusalem artichokes are perennial, and the Yacons we grow every year. And there's a lot of things in which you can do with the Yacon. We can talk about that at a different time. But something unique there. Try something. Another one, if you're going to buy products from reputable companies. If you expect the El Cheapo piece of equipment that you bought on sale on the clearance aisle to last you 15 years, you might want to buy every one they got there, because you're going to go through them pretty quick.
Right. And if you're new to gardening and you're like, I don't know how much I want to commit to this, and you buy the El Cheapo product, that's fine. And then maybe eventually you invest in something a little bit more. That's okay too. But
I mean, we have 32 companies that sponsor the program. You'll hear based on what they've agreed upon currently and throughout the year. These are companies that we have worked with, we have studied, we've used their products, we have seen reviews. These are not companies that are fly-by-night, make the cheapest thing possible to get as much money and then disappear, because these companies believe in gardening or whatever product they're selling. We've got a lot of, it's not exclusively garden products, but they have a reputation to uphold and a responsibility to produce a product in which works and will last.
Right. And that's all we can ask. So that's another tip. And then finally, we have brighten your tools.
Yeah, brighten your tools, either with fluorescent paint or tape, your hand trowel, your hand hoe, your shovel, because if you just throw it down while you're planting tomatoes, that thing blends in. It's got a wooden handle that blends in with the dirt, and it's got a, based on how new it is, maybe a discolorated metal that blends in with the leaves or whatever else debris.
I mean, our clippers are orange, and you lose them all the time in the grass.
But that is a tip. And then also your long-handled tools, your shovels, your hoes, your rakes. You can take a piece of sandpaper and just make sure if it's a wooden handle, smooth it out, and then take a measuring tape and mark like every 6 inches and write 6, 12, 1, 2. So whenever you're digging or planting, you can just drop the shovel down and go, I need 2 foot between these plants, dig, and you don't have to worry about it if you're really concerned about the preciseness of spacing with your plants. So some things to keep in mind to make your growing season better. Well, you can make your kitchen better. You can make your freezer better, all through with Walton's Incorporated.
Yeah, we are brought to you today by our sponsor, Walton's Inc. Listen, we know you care about where your food comes from. Canning and preserving your fruits and vegetables is great, but what about the meat? At Walton's Inc., you can get all the equipment, seasoning, and supplies to make sausage, jerky, and any other meat product your way. Walton's Inc. has everything you need to make any type of meat product. And then there's meatgistics.com to help educate people in the hows and whys of meat processing, as well as of a community of over almost 15,000 users who help give their opinion and guidance on meat processing issues. You can make snack sticks that taste delicious, meat grinders, mixers, sausage stuffers, etc. to get you go from animal to edible. seasonings, great stuff. You can go to waltons.com or waltonsinc.com. Waltons, everything but the meat. You use code GROW22 to save 10% of orders of $50 or more. waltonsinc.com.
Yeah, whether you're a hunter, fisher person, or you just want something good, seasonings and tools to use in your kitchen, waltonsincorporated.com, waltonsinc.com, GROW22. At checkout, save 10% on your orders of $50 or more and get that free shipping. Hey there, gardeners. Thanks for checking out this segment of the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. If you like what you've seen, you can search through the channel and find full in-studio videos of the entire show. If you want to go another route, you can search for it on your favorite podcast platform by searching the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener radio show or the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show, and you can download it and take it with you. You can check out all past seasons at our website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, under the radio tabs at the top of the page. We thank you for joining us. We hope you've learned and enjoyed the show, the segment, and we'll see you next time.